Welcome to Keep It Simple with Brian McMullen. Today I recorded episode number 2 with Damian Godoy. Damien is an entrepreneur. He's an investor. Real estate is his game, so you're going to be learning a little bit about that. He's a partner of mine and just an all-around great guy, so enjoy. Good afternoon, Damian Godoy. Am I saying that right, Damien?
Perfect. Yeah.
I love it. I
You
love it.
you saying it beautiful. It sounds beautiful when you say it.
I try really hard to make it sound beautiful. Damien, thank you for coming on the Keep It Simple podcast with me. I really appreciate it. I want to introduce you a little bit, and I'll probably do this in a different way later. But I want you guys all to know who Damien is to me, because I think it's important that you know that in this case, Damien is a friend. He's a partner. He's a confidant. We talk a lot about what we're trying to accomplish in our lives, and specifically in our real estate businesses. And so he's not someone I'm just meeting. I just want to let you guys all know that. Damien, you may wish that you didn't meet me, but that's a whole other story.
We'll leave that for another day.
There you go. So Damien, you live in Queen Creek, Arizona. You've been there for a number of years. I know that. Close to 20, and you have a beautiful family. Can you tell me a little bit about your family?
Yes. So I'm married. We are coming up to our 20th anniversary right now. And we have 3 kids, 3 beautiful kids. Almost all 3 teenagers, 17, 14, and 12, going into 16 as well.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot on your plate, buddy.
Yeah.
And, it's one of those times when you start to realize, as a parent, that this is fleeting. When you realize, like I said, your oldest is 16. You said
17.
17, yeah. And you go, oh, wait, they're not going to be in the house forever. They're not going to be, because there's those years when you're like working your tail off and you're like, God, is this ever going to end? Right.
Yeah.
And now you're at the point like, wait, this is going to end someday. So
it goes by really fast. If you have people in your audience with little ones, just know that, my oldest is 17 right now, and her plan is she's doing amazing things for a 17-year-old, but she's planning on leaving when she turns 18 and starting her own career, business, life, and we're super excited. But of course, we are gonna miss like having her around, and so just know that the time goes by really, really fast.
It's scary. It's scary. Yeah, my kids are all, well, I would like to say they're all in their 20s, but I have a 31-year-old, 28-year-old, and 26-year-old, and yeah, it goes by, and you there's different phases to that, but you're gonna enjoy those too. But it's definitely, you look back and go, gosh, remember when they were this high. So enjoy
really
as much as you can.
You're a really young dad, because I thought you were in your late 30s.
Yeah, I believe that. Yeah. So thanks for that. So I know a lot of this stuff, but tell everybody, what do you do? What's your business?
I do real estate. I'm a residential and commercial real estate broker. I specialize in multifamily. Like, if you are thinking, single family homes are the thing that everyone is familiar with in real estate. But if you ever rented an apartment, or something similar to an apartment, usually you were part of a bigger property, which is called a multifamily. So it's more than one door. We can talk about smaller multifamily, mid-sized multifamily, or a big multifamily. So I've been all over the place with multifamily, different projects doing different things. But I started as an agent, then I became a broker, business owner, and recently I'm still helping friends and family. But recently, for the last few years, I've been 100% mainly doing investments with partners, with JV or joint venture agreements, and having fun with that.
Yeah. Just what I know about you is that you had this real estate business and you were going full steam, and you realized what we were talking about earlier. Your family is not going to be there forever, and you started to slow that down, kind of got out of the full engagement of that, and started, spending more time with your family, and then started doing more investing. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think a lot of people can relate to this. This is a nation that offers a lot of opportunities, and if you are motivated and if you want to accomplish big things, you will find the vehicles. I know you've done extremely well with the insurance industry. I've done really good with the real estate industry. So sky is the limit, and in our economy and our culture here in the States, it's amazing, right? We're very blessed. However, my personal story is your bank account can look really good, your income can look really extremely good, and then you can wake up one day and realize that you started at one point, or you might start maybe neglecting a little bit of what's the most important thing in your life, or what you're doing, or who are you doing this for, right?
Yeah.
So that's a little bit of my story. Is I did really good as a real estate broker. I had my own business. I created a big real estate team. We became one of the leading teams here in the industry, here in the Phoenix market, well recognized. But again, I I blinked and my kids started high school, and I think
Yeah.
that's when things is like, shoot, that means that I have them for another 3 years at my house. I can enjoy them like 24/7 only for
Yeah.
3 more years, and then they are their own. They start their own path, their own
They're
venture.
doing their thing, right?
Yeah,
Doing what we all want our children to do, right? Which
yeah,
is, become their own people, right? Yeah.
yeah.
I love that. And by the way, for everybody else who's out there, Damien and I met 6 months ago. We were at a real estate conference, because that's what I do as well. And I was looking for, in that conference, I was looking for somebody who I can connect with, who I can build a relationship with, and who I can trust, and start to build my business in a bigger, better way. In that conversation, and I think it was in April or June. I guess it was in late March.
And you
I
couldn't find that individual, so you should
I
settle with
couldn't
me.
find that
Thank
individual,
you.
so I looked back at who I passed over,
What's
and
the
then it
next
was, hey,
option?
bingo, there's Damien still standing there. Not at all, Damien. Not at all. What I love about you is that you are true and straight. And if you say you're going to do something, you're going to do it, and you do it. And so, just to put people out there, the information out there for everybody, Damien and I are partners on a project. Matter of fact, Damien just had a big interview yesterday with one of the mentors in one of the communities that we belong to. His name's Pace Morby. You might know the name. Um, you had a whole day with him, right?
Yeah. So.
Wait, hold on our project, which I'm very jealous of. Let's just say it out there
Hey,
out
I
loud. No,
attempted to have you there, and
no, no,
it
I'm not
didn't.
jealous at all.
It didn't work out.
I'm learning, and I'm taking a smaller role in that project. That's what you do. You learn, and you take action, and you're the lead on that for sure. So I love that you are gonna get the exposure that you
It was,
deserve. You're amazing.
thank you. I appreciate that. It was
Tell
a
us about that. What happened?
it was an amazing experience to kind of describe it to you and the audience a little bit. We are part of a big real estate community. We get a lot of really cool tools and really good network opportunities and really good connections, and also really good coaching and trainings.
Amazing,
The
amazing, top shelf for sure.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've been in a lot of different ones, and I feel 100% at home with the things that I'm doing. And I've only been in this community for a year, so to be yesterday with Pace Morby, um, it's, I think, a blessing, and also out of the blue, right? This wasn't planned or something that I've been promoting myself to, and I think we talked about this a little bit, but I think that sometimes you are trying and doing things and pushing things forward and promoting yourself, your services, your business. And sometimes you don't see the results right away. And please know that you need to keep going. Things are happening. Are happening. So as a business owner, as a professional, as an investor, what happened today, I can tell you that things are happening, even though we're not seeing the results right away. So the story that what
Are
happened
you speaking
yesterday
directly
started.
to me here? Hold on. Are you speaking directly to me now? Because that's how I feel. I feel like I'm not quite where I want to be in my career, but I know I'm doing the right things. And like you said, so when you said that, I'm like, gosh, we're on a podcast here. There's
Yeah,
other people listening, Damien. It's not about me and you.
yeah,
So,
no, this is for everyone, because I've
yeah.
been in many situations. I started a few businesses. I've had professional goals, and you set up these big goals, which you should, but then you don't see results, right? Set up all these daily goals, monthly goals, whatever, and then you don't see the results, and you get frustrated to the point that you might give up and look and change course or direction.
Can I just say that that's really what this is all about? This podcast I've put together here is literally about people doing things outside of the normal what everybody's been told from the day one of their lives. Go to school, get good grades, go to work for somebody, work there until you retire, and don't ever look outside your bubble. And I think Keep It Simple is all about talking to people who are just doing that little different thing for their future. And the hardest part, the reason why people don't do it, the reason why I didn't do it for many, many years is fear. I'm afraid that I'm going to go out there, spend time, energy, money, whatever, and not see the results. So why do it? Let me just stay here in this lane.
Yeah.
So what you're speaking to is exactly what I want my audience to hear. So I
I'm
love this.
speaking. To be honest, I'm speaking to myself 20 years ago, right?
Thank you.
So I don't get discouraged. Take action, even if it's one step at a time. And it's easy for me to say now that I've been through 20 years of real estate and a lot of different things. But I went with my wife yesterday to show our projects to Pace Morby, who is a huge figure, huge coach and real estate, well recognized, not only in the community, in his community, of course, but also in the real estate world. He's become probably the top three when you're talking about real estate across the
Yeah,
nation, right? Which is crazy.
it is
Anyways,
crazy.
the I was talking to my.
On that note, I'm so proud of him because I've been in his group for a little over 3 years now,
Yeah.
and I thought it was massive when I started, and he's just keeps leveling up, and he's such an amazing leader. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean what you're saying is absolutely true. He's top notch for
So
sure.
he was at our project yesterday, like walking our project, sitting in and like
So excited.
talking to us about it. But
I'm sure
anyways,
you talked about me the whole time. So I mean,
we couldn't stop talking about you,
no,
Brian.
oh my God, that's so
Um,
funny. No.
so I was talking. So I took my wife to because I wanted to. Hey, they're gonna have cameras there. They're gonna have mics. They're gonna have stuff. Like, can you tell me if I'm looking good? If I like, like make
You need your team, man. You
yeah,
need your team.
make sure my like he's bringing his whole team. I'm like I have my wife. That's all I have.
I love it.
Anyways, she goes along, right? And I'm like, can you like he has in his community, in his paid community, he has 16,000 members. And he has like another a free community of like I don't know 40,000 members, and he has millions of followers. Out of all that craziness, he's doing really good. His life is busy. He decides to go and check our project, like our project that
Well, hold on now. Our project's pretty impressive,
it is
don't you
pretty
think?
impressive. It
I
is. It
mean,
is.
I'm going to give the highlights. You're going to give the details here. It's 24 units. Okay. First
Yeah.
of all, my largest purchase ever. Um, and I said, I'm your partner. I have now 58 doors, and I'm stoked about 58 doors. That's puts you up even higher, and you can tell that story in a second. But our project is it's a complex, six fourplexes.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's fully. Well, I think we have a couple vacancies that we're working through, which is what you do. But this project is built in the '70s. It's in mint shape. We
Yeah.
are. I was super impressed with the condition of this property. That's one of the things that drove me in, right? And you have a great team already in place because of your other previous project. Which, by the way, that's why I partner. Honestly, you're awesome. You're good looking, of course. Don't get me wrong.
Thank you.
I don't want to get on your wife's bad side here, but you do everything right. But you have more skills on this level than I do, and that's why I partner with you. But
Yeah.
you have a team built out. We have this running. It's like a machine. It's going to be ultimately, once we get everything leveled out, would you say a cash flow machine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Tell us more about what's your real estate, inside.
oh,
And
I
take
can,
on
I,
that.
well, I can go like for hours. Like
I
you,
know you have.
if we talking about real estate, I can do this for hours.
I
What I
know.
wanted to
I've
tell
known you
you,
for 6 months, and we've spent lots of time
yeah,
talking real estate.
what
So
I
I
can,
know
and
all these things.
I'm very passionate about real estate.
Me
I'm,
too.
what I can tell you, I was going to tell you about yesterday.
Yeah,
But
please.
just to finish that note really quick. So I was
I
telling my
love it.
wife, I'm like, out of 16,000 people, 40,000 people in the unpaid community, thousands of projects going on, people that joined the community 7 years ago, you 5 years ago, whatever. Like I only joined 11 months ago, and Pace Morby, like who is a huge real estate figure, decides to visit with me and bring his whole team to do a YouTube. We're gonna be in YouTube. Our project is gonna be in YouTube. We had a he did an amazing job, and he that's his world is marketing and social media. So we talked about the project, multiple takes and different parts of the projects on interviewing me on how the project went and how it came about and what we did as a partnership and all that. So like that doesn't happen just because of luck. I don't believe in being lucky. I believe in you are lucky after you put the effort, right? You are not the I'm a believer. I believe in God. If you believe in the universe, like things are not going to align for you if you're not doing anything. God is not going to put stuff in front of you if you're not doing anything. You have to uh, make the first step, and then God, the universe, whatever you want to call it, is gonna react to your action, right? So what happened yesterday, and that my wife helped me, uh, reminded me of that, saying, "Hey, like, of course, like you're in the trenches. Like Brian and you are meeting every week for multiple hours, like every morning. Like, you guys are planning, you guys are brainstorming, you guys are, discussing. You guys are doers, right? And I think that's something that kind of connected us, right? You and I are very similar when it comes to the way that we do business. Is we're doers. We like to do, and then when you take action, there's always a reaction. So that's what happened yesterday, which was a huge deal. And I invite everyone to hopefully in the next few weeks. There's a video somewhere that is professionally done with Pace Morby, and he talks about our project, which is extremely exciting. A lot of exposure to you and
It's
I,
going to be a little more professional than my podcast. I'm
which
just
is
letting you
beautiful.
know.
It's not going to be as
um,
as nice without your face there, but it's going to be okay.
no, we're going to have some links to this. I'm not sure how we're going to do all that, but we're going to put some links together. We're going to make sure that you have access to this stuff. So we're going to make sure that people see you and know your name. And that's really what this is about. And going back to what you just said, it's, you believe in God, and that's not enough. You have to take action, and that's when the luck comes. And I think again, just going back to the podcast, that's what it's about. It's like people taking some kind of action and having faith that
Yeah.
if you do that, something happens, right? Something good.
Well,
And
faith,
so,
faith without actions is dead, right? There has to be. You can believe or you can have faith. They're two different things. Action, faith requires action, and if you are a professional, you need to take action, and then the market will react to will react to your action. The economy will react to your clients, your customers. Is a reaction to an action that you take.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm asking people a lot of things that kind of, because I'm trying to prep people who are watching this or going to watch in the future to kind of get past that thing. For me, I didn't buy real estate for many, many years because of one thing. And I asked you this question previous to this, and you answered the same way, which is fear, right? I was afraid to take that action. I was afraid to step out. I was afraid. Talk to me about your fear. How do you conquer your fear?
Um, I guess I'll give you a very small practical answer for you and the audience that helps me, and then we'll get into maybe more things that really happen in my life. But um, my my way to see a problem, or when I'm about to make a decision, is okay, what's the worst thing that could happen? Like that, honestly, like I buy this fourplex, I buy this 24 unit apartment complex, I buy this home, this rental. What's the worst thing that could happen, right? If something doesn't go according to the plan. So that's always the way that I approach a decision, or big decisions, right? So uh, I'm gonna keep it within real estate because I think we can all relate to this. But um, let let's say that you buy a rental. Worst thing what could happen is you lose the tenant who's supposed to be paying your mortgage, or help you pay your mortgage. Okay, what happens after that if the tenant doesn't pay? Well, you have to evict them, and you're responsible for the mortgage. Okay, what happens if you don't have the money for the mortgage? Hopefully you do, but what happens? Okay, you get behind on your mortgage. Okay, what happens then? Well, your credit is going to be affected for about 6 months. Okay, what happens then? Your foreclosure starts. Okay, what happens there? Then you lose the house. Perfect. Okay, what happens then? Your credit is shut for 5 years. Okay, what happens then? You start all over again if you want after 5 years. You can do something. So it's not the end of the world. Most issues, most problems are gonna be. Um, my dad, and I'm the way that I am because of my dad, 100%. My dad used to say, "It's only a problem if it has a solution. If it doesn't have a solution, it's not a problem, right?" So things that in life you're always gonna face problems, which means that there is a solution for that problem. The only I mean, yeah,
Well,
that's the way to
I
approach my
absolutely
decision.
love what you just said, and I'm gonna speak about myself just a second.
Yeah.
I was an insurance agent. Okay, some people call us insurance agents. Some people call us salesmen.
Sure.
Some people call us risk managers.
Yeah.
Okay, risk mitigation.
Yeah.
Right. So my whole life was, how do I protect? How do I make sure I'm safe? How do I do this? And what you just said is the worst thing that happens, you're late on your mortgage. And then what happens then? The worst thing that happens is the bank sends you a letter and says, "Hey, you got a problem," and your credit goes down for a little while. Okay, what happens then? And I love that process of going down. And then the worst thing that happened in that scenario was you got to start all over.
Yeah.
That's the worst thing. You didn't die. Your family's not in jeopardy. They're not in jail. You just, you start all over. And what I always say is a mistake is not a mistake if you learn from it.
Yeah.
It's really comes down to, are you taking that lesson and learning and pushing your ball forward, or are you letting that beat you?
Yeah. Well,
So
100%. It's not a mistake. It's life is schooling you. It's life teaching you something, you know. And again, I can talk about this for hours. I think you know my story. In 2008, I lost everything. I lost my rentals. I lost my projects. I lost even our own home, and that alone could be a whole chapter or a whole conversation of life story and all that. um I came back, you know. I had I
Yeah,
that
the errors that
the worst
happened.
the worst happened. The
Yeah,
worst happened. So what, I already made those decisions when I was going into that path on okay, so okay, the worst happened. We touched bottom and we started building all over again. So that's what I'm saying. I could speak about that for a long time, but when it comes to making uh, the first step, you know, like think about that. Okay, what happens if that goes the wrong way?
yeah,
What happens if that goes the wrong way? And then in the process of that understanding, you realize it's actually not that bad, but also I'm going to create safety nets for those possibilities and those potentials, right? There is a safety net
yeah.
that you can build for every one of those things.
And think about it. I just in my mind just kind of hit me. One of the reasons why I think you and I connected because you're very upfront about, hey, this happened to me. This wasn't so good. I'm not proud of that. Maybe not. I don't know. But you're proud of the way that you handled it and moved forward. And like I said earlier, you took it and turned it into a lesson that made you better.
Yeah.
Right. I love that. I love that. And a lot of people that are watching today, including myself for many years, didn't even step out to make that error to find out what we could learn to go forward. We just sat there in that one spot for a long time. So I love that. And that's, again, one of the things that makes me, Damien, connected to you personally, is that openness to talk about these things. So I love that. Thank you so much. Appreciate you.
No
Um,
problem.
what I wrote down what's a weakness of yours, and I don't know if I like the answer you gave me.
I don't remember
You
the
said
answer. I'm nervous.
I think you said you were too handsome. And that was a problem for you, but I
I
don't
have
know if
issues.
that's the
I
truth.
have issues with that. I have issues with
I
that.
mean, in the room right now, yes. Okay, I'll give it to you. Okay, we're just gonna go with that. But overall, what is what's your weakness? Because I'm not hearing weaknesses right now.
Um, I don't like. I hated that you put that question there because I don't want to sound arrogant, or I don't want to sound like I don't. I'm not afraid of many things. Like I'm not afraid of life. I'm not afraid of. I think I'm afraid. I think I put that there. I think I'm afraid of wasting my life. I'm afraid of wasted opportunities. I'm afraid of waking up one day and saying, "Hey, I didn't live to my expectation and didn't live to my potential." I think that's my fear. I'm not afraid of anything other than not living up to my expectations as a dad, as a husband, as a man, as a business owner. That
Yeah,
that I don't know if that
yeah.
makes sense.
No, it totally makes sense. I'm right with you, and I feel like it's a constant battle of how do I live my life, but also do the things I need to do. And I don't know, finding that balance is really hard for me too. So
Yeah.
I love it. Is there any other topics that you would like to bring? Because normally, what I would ask you is, hey, what's your focus? Where are you trying to push outside that box? I think we've talked about it in depth so far on that topic. But is there anything else that you're trying to accomplish other than being an amazing father and husband and
Oh,
business owner and
that's
partner?
a work in progress. Being a dad and a husband is always a work in progress. I can't relax on that aspect. Like I always have to try to do better and learning. But I think I'm trying to concentrate on raising capital funds for more multifamily projects. Um, Also, I got involved with you on doing some private money loans. So I use the capital to do some of that, and we offer people good returns for their capital. But the you know I think where my strength is finding the deals, multifamily deals, and negotiating them, structuring them. I'm very passionate about that aspect of real estate. So that's what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, and you know your wheelhouse, and I know my goal with us is to have another property by year end. That's in my mind. It's like we're going to do this. This is what has to happen next, and it's it's just a process of saying, okay, that's the goal. Where are we going next? What's if you're an old man like me now, you're at the point where you're done. Obviously, it's going to be family, friends, and that kind of stuff. But do you have like a financial goal what you're shooting for, or is that even out there yet, or is it not really the most important thing?
Um, unfortunately, the goal has to be related usually by money, because whatever you want to accomplish, um, I will say most of the time, not always, but most of the time, it's associated with a cost or with an income or with some sort of money amount. It's not money is not the only thing in life. There's a lot of priorities, but money buys the life that will make you enjoy life maybe a little bit more, or enjoy the world and enjoy life, your families a little
Part
bit
of the deal,
better.
right?
Part of the deal. So I think right now maybe my Everest, if you want to call it that,
No,
is my,
there you
my
go.
my financial goal could be, um, when it comes to my professional life, is probably $50,000 passive cash flow a month. Something like that. I'm working on.
Yeah, that can provide you the lifestyle that you want to live, and get to the point when you're at the point where you don't have the ability or the desire to work every day hard like we're doing today.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah.
I see other investors saying, "Well, I want so many doors," and they push really hard for the number of doors that they part of. Well, are they really giving you the cash flow that you need? Are those properties really having the passive income that you need and all that? So you shouldn't associate that to numbers of doors. You should associate it more to how much those assets are putting in your pocket on a monthly basis.
Yeah, I love that. I still equate it to doors, and because I'm amateur hour here. But no, to me, it's like you got to have a goal, and a goal of $50,000 income doesn't seems like it's beyond me to think about, right?
Um,
But if I have 50 doors and I can increase that to 70 doors, just using it as a number, I know the income will be driven by that. And then once, and I'm doing this right now. Now that I have so many doors, I'm starting to look back and go, okay, which ones of these doors have cost me headaches? Which of them has cost me, sleepless nights, and which one isn't serving me now? So I think when I first started, it wasn't about those serving me. That was just do it, take action, move the ball forward. And now it's like, for me, it's like, okay, now I'm starting to turn from the doors idea to the, okay, how do I make these doors serve what I'm trying to accomplish? And which is what you're at, which is the dollars. You need dollars coming in so that you can live the life that you're trying to accomplish. So I want to say that I'm glad that you said it the way you did. But I think that I don't want is somebody to go, well, I can't even imagine that yet. Because ultimately that's when people go, I can't imagine, so let's not try.
yeah.
So I really, really think it's important that as we imagine the things that we can, and again, there's a thing. You mentioned Mount Everest. Mount Everest is your big goal in life, and I have always struggled with that. So for me, a Mount Everest is really hard for me to push toward, and I'm pushing toward it. I'm building it out. I'm working on it weekly, but ultimately, if I can just say, okay, but if I buy 5 doors this month or this year or whatever, that's going to get me closer to where I'm going. And as I get there, I'll be able to change and mold my Everest in
Yeah.
a better way because I'll have more information. Does that make sense?
100%. 100%. Um, I don't know if you ever heard the people talking about getting to the top of Mount Everest. They, um, that's the goal, right? That's what they've been training for months. That's what they've been
Years.
preparing themselves mentally, physically, muscle, and all that. And honestly, when they get to the top, is the most depressing thing. Is what they
It's a
all share.
letdown. Yeah.
It is they let down. They are there for 10 minutes. They prepare for 9 months, maybe even more. It takes them I don't know how many months just to get up there. Um, and then they all share the same belief that the most beautiful part of the climbing the Mount Everest is the growth and the journey, right?
I have wisdom here. Dang it! I love what you're saying. It's like base camp is. I don't even think base camp is your first level of success there, but base camp is where you weed. I hate to say it this way because I think that I don't want anybody to be weeded out of this, but when you get to base camp, you only have people who are trying to do something,
Yeah,
right? And if you're at the foot or you're in town, you haven't put any effort in, and you can't say, well, base camp's not that big a deal,
yeah,
but it is. Getting to base camp puts you in a room with the people who are doing things, which totally energizes you to go to the next level,
yeah.
right? And
What
so,
if
yeah,
you
it's all about the journey.
100%. If you're always thinking, um, if okay, so this is how I will put it to your audience is, and this is something that I probably learned recently within the last 5 years is, you know what? I'll be happy when I drive that vehicle, or I'll be happy when I live in a house that size, or I'll be happy when I have a pool in my backyard, or I'll be happy when I get that promotion. I'll be happy when I've married the girl, the guy of my dreams. I'll be happy when I have babies at home. Um, I think we all make the mistake of thinking that way. And what we don't realize is that once we get to that point, to get the pool in our backyard, to get to the bigger house, the nicer car, whatever, now we start looking at the neighbor's house or backyard and say, well, their pool is better. I'll be happy when I have that, grotto feature, or when I have, he has a truck and instead of a car that is not. It is in our nature is always the uh, I want the grass that is green on the other side, and in reality, if we don't learn to be happy with what we have today, we will never be happy.
Yeah, it's so true. It's so true. And I'm definitely the guy who's doing that, right? I'm like, gosh, I just don't like the fact that I just moved, by the way, if anybody knows, I just moved from one place to another. And I made a decision this time to not buy and then find out I didn't like the neighborhood. Learning, right? Mistake or learn, I don't know.
Yeah.
Um, and so I'm renting a house. First time I've rented a house since I was married. 34 years ago. Okay. I don't want to date myself, but I think you guys know how old I am. So, um, but yeah, so first time in my life I'm renting and it feels very odd, very uncomfortable. I'm in a room I have to do a fake background because I don't have the room that has my studio set up yet. Right. That feels uncomfortable. And I'm like, I'm not, I just wish I was at the next level. And
If you and I'm not trying to bash you or anything like that. I think you're amazing. But if
bring it
you're
on.
not
I love it.
happy, if you're not happy in that room, you will never be happy when you get your nice studio. You know what I mean? Like you have to find happiness where you are today. And I'm not trying to, like that's how I was, and I think that's in our human nature is what do I need to be happy? And we'll start looking outside of where we are. Like what is it that will make us? Where do I find happiness? And like you have to learn to have happiness where you are today where God is putting you today, where nature, the universe is putting you today. Find happiness there.
I like this is another podcast that I'm cheering up on.
Oh,
I don't know if this is going to be a trend or not, but
I didn't mean to.
I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you straight, and it's like that's hard. It's hard for me to do, and I'm just putting myself out there. It's very hard for me to do, and I assume it's hard for others to do as well. So I love it. And I'm sure it's hard for you to do. You're not immune to this stuff.
Oh
So
no, I'm no.
I love it.
All the things that I'm saying is like, hey, it's things that I struggle with personally. It's things that I had to learn personally, challenges and bad decisions, and trying to refine, like trying to improve, trying to refine my soul every day.
I'll tell you what. I've said this to my children since they were children, and they're not anymore.
Yeah,
You know, this is kind of the family joke, but it's not right. I have two girls and a boy, and so obviously because the boy, I can assimilate a little bit in a different way. But I've always said, Carson, his name's Carson. Carson, you're smarter than me. There's no doubt. You're taller than me. There's no doubt. You're blonder than me. There's no doubt. You're better looking than me. Everybody knows. There's no doubt. You have all the tools, but there is something I have. And I said, and it's wisdom. Wisdom does not come because you're smart or good looking or tall. It comes because you've lived life. You've gone through the muck. You've made mistakes,
yeah,
and you've moved forward. And I think that's what you're saying. It's like your wisdom from all those errors and those things when you didn't do things perfectly the way we all want to. You've just taken that and created wisdom with that. And I think that's really what we're all trying to do. And that's what I'm trying to do with the podcast. It's like, I don't want anybody to have no wisdom in the fact that they didn't try to do something new.
yeah, yeah.
I love this.
Um, you mean, yeah, that's me in a nutshell. I can speak for hours about the mistakes that I made and the things that I've done wrong and the things that I learned yeah. So
At this point, I just want to thank you, Damien, again for being my friend, for being my partner, allowing me to come in and step in and learn from you as we go forward. And by the way, very humbling when I'm the older guy in the room, but I'm not so humbled that I'm not going to do it. Right. But I thank you for all these things. And especially just the friendship. Again, everything else is going to be where it's going to be, but friendships is really important to me. So I really thank you for that. I can't wait to do more. Can't wait to learn more, and I can't wait to finally meet your wife.
it didn't work out last time, but
I
will make
know
it happen.
we've tried. Hey,
Yeah.
not for no lack of trying, right?
Yeah.
Um,
No, I just I love that. I think what you're doing here is amazing. I love that you're bringing some positive information to the world, and for everyone that is out there, supporting you and stuff like that. I think this is great. Thanks for putting this together. Thanks for inviting me. If I can help you or any of your audience, I put my Instagram here on the under my name. You can connect with me through Instagram. You can ask me questions. I'm in Arizona. I have this weird accent. We didn't talk about this, but I'm from
Yeah.
Argentina. So that's but I'm home for me is here, Arizona, even though the accent doesn't go away, but home is here.
Absolutely.
So
You're moving to Arizona. This is a man you need to know.
yeah,
For sure. And I got lucky enough to find him, and I can help you find him too.
yeah,
So I
absolutely.
love it. Thank you, Damien. Thank you for being all those things that we talked about earlier. And by the way, podcast number 2, and I brought you on because I value you so much, and I want you to know that. So
Yeah.
truly to my heart.
Thanks,
Okay,
Brian.
sir.